How long, Self, you're muted. How long do we boot it back up? Or how are we on stream?
Yeah. I mean, you definitely announced that we'll be right back.
I'm not very good at this.
That's right. It's a little bit tricky when you're at the start. We're like, oh, what do you think of these two teams that you haven't seen play at all today?
Exactly.
Like, literally, the easiest thing is just like, hey, what do you think the Oh,
Thanks, Seth.
hey.
Big scarf.
May, they're probably going to run May today.
It'd be like that. So yeah, they're probably going to run May today. Our own deep dive into this. But we should be able to jump into the game shortly now. This is probably the most scuffed introduction we've had. Sorry for that, but we appreciate everyone's patience, but we should be getting some sick Overwatch gameplay shortly.
Yeah, shouldn't be too much to worry about just yet. Sit in your seats, sit tight. Make sure you drop a follow while you're here, and maybe subscribe if you want. You know, if you have just $5 laying around, if you feel like it. You get some cool emotes, I think. Do we even have emotes? I don't know.
We have one emote. We have the feed emote, which is it's a pretty good emote, and it matters for a lot of the teams in here. Do we have any others?
And that matters for a lot of teams. It's gonna
only one emote, unfortunately, but it's a good emote. You can use it in any Overwatch players stream. You can use it. There's plenty of streams you can use the feed emote in. You could just send it to me on the daily whenever I'm playing Overwatch. Just
constant DMs for Cookie. Just
exactly,
feeding, of course. And that's how you become an MVP candidate. You feed.
Yeah, I'm the number one feeder. That's why. Hopefully we
Either way,
jump into this game shortly. Yeah,
we're going to be going to Leading Tower first, which is a very popular control map. A lot of people's favorites. You normally see that Ryan May come out with Diva Zarya, that brawl kind of rush style on most of the maps. You do have that one Night Market map where you use the Sim Teleporter most of the time to get into that window, get that point presence. But for the most part, we'll see a lot of rush comps come out here.
Absolutely. We're excited to see what kind of things they bring out here. Maybe even some dive bashing.
Dive bashing, I would love to see.
Absolutely. But it looks like both teams are ready, so we should be able to jump in just a moment and see what we're finally going to be running here.
Now arriving at Yijiang Tower.
There's a few people spamming that feed in the chat. Beautiful. Got our subs in there.
Good old feed burgers. Absolutely classic there. But now actually we're on the one map that maybe Rush isn't the best pick for. It's still definitely viable, but we do see a lot of dive come out here for sure. And, we see a lot of maybe that spam compositions as well. So a lot more variant on this outdoor tower map instead of that rush.
And you see even Symmetra on this map from time to time because you want to try and get on that point pretty quickly because it can be pretty difficult to get in there, especially with a lot of fire being run. And it's kind of difficult to get in there sometimes. Bunkering down is a smart option. But I mean, we can see what Tokyo are running. The typical kind of the same old jam. Maybe with a Mercy, but something very different from Tiny right now. It doesn't look like that's going to be what they run out with.
Yeah, Hawk's going to go over to the woods there. And also, right before we start, Taco, thank you for the follow. Just getting all the bases covered there, but now we're in. We got that good dive with the pharmacy. See that quite a bit. That does some good damage. Works out a lot, but going onto point here, both just tank kind of poking at each other, but that rush cow sticking together like a ball with that tracer right in the back, just trying to drill him down. Ice block already used there by AMA, and he's going lower. Needs a lot of healing to keep himself up right now. That fire just poking at that backline. AMA and Mercury Spike going down lower and lower, and the dive comes through. He's gonna find it when it finds AMA with the boop there from this light off. Another kill comes through, both DPS down there. Gonna be the Tiny taking first cap.
Yeah, pretty well done. They had the rush comp. There wasn't too much DPS. The Tracer's in behind, and Fire is up above. but they don't really have the best line of sight and the best positions to be in that map. They should just rush down these tanks and take them out, because there's, I mean, dive tanks, yeah, they can dive on squishies and they can move around pretty well, but once you get on top of them, especially with a Reinhardt, they're essentially useless. And if you take them out before the fire and the tracer can do any work like they did, but instead they just decide to back out. And now they've got to try and push into this. And yeah, you have the Widowmaker, which can help, but it's a pretty good map for fire to be able to just fly around and avoid any line of sight.
Yeah, Mercury Spike, definitely a deadly Widow, but as you said, it's going to be hard to get the right angles onto Misled Elf's Pharah. He already has that barrage too, so this little gateway kind of corridor is not going to be friendly with him coming around the corner right now, and he's going to drop it straight in there and take down AMA, who managed to switch over to them at Kree, but 2 kills come through, no one could punish the stood still Pharah in the air. Hammer on the point though, Poison trying to bring this one back. Both tanks couldn't help out the Moira there, but Rez is coming up in the back, and Misled Elf gets another on that Pharah. But Poison's doing it all by himself right now. He gets the nano too. More kills coming through, but in the back, Absolute Zero taken down. So Poison, the last one standing yet again, as Lucio falls as well, and it's a lost fight. Poison just couldn't carry it hard enough there, that fight.
That is super unfortunate. Like you said, Poison was doing it all. There was literally not more this man could do. He's probably flaming everyone in chat right now, but yeah, it's rough. You gotta get those kills, and Poison was doing it, but there was no follow-up from anyone else. And it's so staggered. With that dive comp, you get back so quickly. That doesn't matter too much with those staggered kills. And now they've got a few ults here to defend with. And Tokyo, all they got here is a grab and a high noon, which is pretty useful, but there's not a lot to combo it with.
And it's also hard to get a high noon and when you're dead. AMA taken down by that pulse bomb. Poison over to the Roadhog now, taken out as well. Omega slept up off to the side, but he has that recall. He'll be just fine. And the ultimate's coming out here. The barrage doing work. Gets 3 kills at the tail end. That Graviton Surge, not quite what Ben was looking for there. And just the cleanup. Looks like it's going to be Tiny with a very decisive round 1 here on Lijiang.
Thanks for the assist.
Pretty well done. It's been a hot second since we've seen Dive actually properly work on this map, but you know, Tiny executed pretty well, and the stall and the recontest was beautifully done. Not dropping it a single time. Pretty well done.
Yeah, exactly. Just complete dominance there from Tiny as they look to go into this control center room. Of course, Dive probably not the best option for this map. We'll see if they change that up a little bit. And also, Kaio Gamer, thank you for the follow. Everyone else at home, go ahead and follow while you're here. If you're joining for the first time, or if you're coming back for some reason you don't follow the first time, kind of weird. Whatever.
Yeah, imagine not following the best mock Overwatch League stream there is. But we're going to round 2, and slightly different comp. Coming out from Tiny there. They're running Yutris on the Diva, you know, kind of the trademark. They're running a May of their own now. They're ready for this Brawl Rush comp. And yeah, I mean there's not much left to be here. They just kind of got W keyed into and cleaned up. But that's kind of the glory of the May and the Doomfist. You just kind of walk into them and everyone dies.
Yeah. The Lucio actually gets a double kill during that fight too, so Cream Lord always was watching there. I mean, he really probably didn't even do much damage. He probably just got like, you know, the final blow, but hey, it counts.
Exactly. That spam, you know, as long as you're finishing it, someone's gonna do it, you know.
May well in, but everyone gets through before that can even go up. But Mercury's Break is already down. Pin comes through, but the counter there by Poison in the backline. That Doomfist trying to do work. He goes in with the uppercut, takes down Buzz, and Poison not far to follow there, and more of a cleanup going through, and a stagger as well. Ben Wizzle's gonna have to jump off the map right now.
You might not see him in the kill feed as much. It's mainly Lucio at the moment, but Omega is doing a lot of work with this Doomfist, and Tokyo kind of just ignoring him. He's just kind of in the background, in the back line rather, and just harassing people and getting these picks. So much on it, no one's looking at him the entire time.
Shatter tries to come down there from Hawk, but he gets stunned up through it, but it doesn't matter. They have the Coalescence keeping everyone alive. Hawk finds 2 more. He didn't need an Earth Shatter there to win that fight. As they start just moving towards spawn, honestly. Final kill there onto Ben.
The Cream Lord is really just stacking up these final blows, honestly. I first off, it was just kind of a fluke, but he's hitting shots, I suppose, and finishing people off. But if you're Tokyo, he's got to start, playing well here. You got to use your ults efficiently to get in here, because it's a very difficult point to take.
It's hard to take it when your Reinhardt goes down first, especially behind that wall. He gets it shattered down, but no follow-up there. Bomb into the back. Will that find anyone? No. It only finds the barrier of Hawk, who's frozen up in that blizzard. But one comes out here from Misled Elf, and that one's going to be used to the advantage. He finds two. One headshot onto Mercury Spike during that as well. Bomb coming out for Eaters, probably just a remech there. There's a little more space here for the Ghouls, trying to move on to point, but Tiny really isn't budging. Another kill there. Both main takes down yet again. D-Mech there. Ben not really having a lot of luck there. He gets headshot by that Icicle. And again, it's just a cleanup. AMA on the Doomfist. Taken down pretty quick here. McCree and Lucio, last one standing. They're taken out. And map 1 is going to go to the Vancouver Tiny. A quick 2-0 there. 99-0 on both maps. Tiny just looks like full control right now.
Yeah, pretty efficiently done, honestly. Both maps 99-0. Well, 100, straight up 100-0 both times. Really just kind of uncontested. Poison is trying to do what he can, but he doesn't have the team to back him up there. And I don't think they have the coordination to be able to deal with any of these Mei walls if they continue to come out through the rest of the match. And I mean, the DPS on the side of Tiny are just obliterating everyone. And, Ghouls just don't have a chance to play the game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's just the map style. I don't know. They didn't really get a chance to defend themselves. They were basically attacking the entire time. Maybe 2 CPs are a bit of a change of pace for them.
Yeah, definitely. Gonna have to see a lot of changes coming through, hopefully for Ghouls to make this a very competitive match. But on the side of Tiny, you gotta just applaud how well they look right now. They're just firing on all cylinders. Misled Elf with the walls there on that second point, and the Pharah on that first point too. When you're taking on both DPS, hit scan, especially as a Pharah, it's pretty hard to miss that just domination going through. So I got to give it over to Misled Elf right now, has been dominant.
Absolutely. And Omega as well. He was incredible in the Doomfist, just applying constant pressure the entire time, and with the aggression of his Reinhardt and Misled Elf as well. He was basically free. I don't think anyone even looked at the Doomfist the entire time until he was the only one on point against a Diva and a Lucio. But, like I said, that's map 1. It can be like that sometimes. Hopefully for Tokyo, they don't get 3-0 here and can kind of bring it back for map 2 and the rest. Yeah,
you got to, keep some honor, Tokyo. The Japanese really care about their honor. So don't want to fall 3-0 here today. Going to be going to Volskaya next map. So again, switching it up to that 2 CP, maybe you can help yourself a little bit, change the pace a bit. But it just seemed like Vancouver had one step ahead of Tokyo throughout that first map. But we'll see, obviously.
Absolutely. We will have to see. But yeah, so we're getting to map 2. Like I said, Volskaya Industries. Very different map to Lijiang. Very different. Yeah. A lot of high ground to play around, a lot of long sight lines, all sorts of fun things to do, which might help out the Ghouls, especially with they've got Mercury Spike, who likes that Widow and likes that bit of a hit scan, so it might make it a bit easier for him, keep it a bit of a shooting gallery.
Yeah.
But we really will have to see, because right now, the way it's looking, Vancouver are very, very dominant and very unchecked right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Those DPS just pretty much having free reign up above in the skies and on the ground and to the sides and just everywhere.
Just every direction. They're probably in the enemy spawn, literally inside, shooting from the back. Very uncontested. We should be able
great first map there from Tiny. We'll see if Ghouls can come back. But in the meantime, make sure you drop a follow on the stream to be alerted when we come back, because this is the playoffs. This is an elimination game. You don't want to see anyone go out, obviously, but one does have to go after today. So they'll be going on to play another map. The winner, of course, will be going on to play a match against Pink Sox next round, as really after this, there'll be 6 teams left in the brackets. Excel and Fission. Sorry, just watching too much actual Overwatch League lately, I guess. But Excel and the Fission in the winners bracket. We'll have that game for you sometime in the next week whenever it's accessible. And that should be a great match for sure. But for now, we have this first round of the losers bracket game as we're getting into Volskaya.
Absolutely, we're finally going to jump in now and see what these teams can do on this map.
Initiating match.
What are you feeling they're going to bring out here?
You know, that May is very commonly run on a lot of maps, but you could also see some spam come out here. I know one team that likes to run spam on this point, but that's besides the point. But it should be exciting to see what these guys get going for them. Ghouls have to really put something together. And of course, the teams that switch sides now, in the red is the Ghouls, in the blue is the Vancouver Tiny, who will be on defense, of course. Looking to take that full hold, you know, maybe make the map a little faster if they care for that, but...
absolutely. But yeah, I mean, like you said, we're going to be running the May. Going to be running the very typical meta that we see a lot of teams run. And right now, it looks like we're going to be running a Zarya and a Hanzo, which typically you don't see a lot of Zarya anymore these days. She's kind of outpaced a little bit by some other heroes. But with that Hanzo to help out, you get that you know, the Grav Dragons on 2 CP. That can be the world, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're really going for just 2 teamfight wins the entire map. Like, that's basically all you have to do, especially for first point. You just need really 1, and there's no way the respawns can get there in time. So that Grav Dragon's definitely a surefire way to get that one down. Of course, you still have to hit it, but Hawk is slept up and in a dangerous position. Wall comes up there. Episode 0 not able to heal his team right now, but they're pushing in without him anyway. They have enough healing, I guess, from Buzz. As AMA on that high ground being contested by Yutris. Now they're just kind of walking in here. Another wall goes up. Poison has to back up a bit because of that. Yutris just pressuring right now, but Poison goes low. And he's gonna get healed up here, but that does have to, you know, push them back just for a little bit.
You see, these long sustained fights are really going to favor Tokyo. Unless you die, of course. Because you want that Zarya to have as much high energy as you can.
But when
Hawk didn't quite work out.
Yeah, Hawk takes out Poison and then gets the shatter there during the fight. So pretty easy there defensively. I mean, once you have that high average energy as a Zarya, you gotta push in, you gotta take advantage of that extra damage, especially over the D.Va, who you can just kind of burn down. You got to push in once you know you have that high energy, and just kind of maybe a little bit of timidness there from the Ghouls.
Yeah, they played it very slowly, which, you know, it's a very fast composition to play, but they played it very slow.
Yeah, but they are going to take Yutris out of mech there, and Omega with the high noon gets caught out. Tried to go for that little flank angle, but AMA hits him. But that's going to be the Blizzard, kind of halting the progress. Poison and AMA get caught in that one. But a trade comes through. Mricker's Spike taking down the Cream Lord. They have somewhat of an advantage, 4-4 right now, but it looks like they're just kind of waiting for respawns. Maybe at the very least, Wall comes up just to halt them a little bit. But Omega's back on the Tracer. He switched it up just to get to point as fast as he can. And that Lucius comes back
too much to that May on point. You really can't push into that when you've only got a few people. But now with everyone here, they should have an advantage with Omega on the Tracer, unless he manages to, you know, beam Spittle down.
Yeah, Graviton's straight in there, but AMA didn't have his dragons. That was the one thing they were hoping for, that Grav Dragons, but he didn't have it, and he's taken out of the fight there by Yutris. Shadow comes through, finding that Lucio, but Poison blocks the rest, and everyone should be kept up from that one. But now he's walled off yet again, pinned against the wall. Hawk takes him down, and Ghouls again down 2. Have to be looking to back out of this fight.
It's like they just consistently forget that they have a May during the entire fight. They just continuously seem to get walled over and over again, and they don't really have an idea of where they need to be going. They're kind of split a little bit slow in the play, unfortunately. They're going to kind of speed it up a bit and just go in one direction, avoid getting walled, and, you know, try and win a fight.
But they do have a lot of point control right now since Hawk has to come back from spawn. They get a tick and a half right now, but recontest coming in here from Yutris. High noon in the back, but no defense matrix for Yutris. Doesn't matter. He finds a kill with the bomb. He was taken out. So that's one advantage they have, is Hawk is slept up in the back line, trying to get absolute 0, but he's taken down from behind by Ben. Has that high energy right now. That's going to be almost 2 ticks coming through. but the Blizzard is there as more kills come through here for the side of Tiny. Shatter coming through as well, but that doesn't find any kills. He gets killed before Misled Elf can get taken away.
And we've talked about it before. It's one of those desperation plays where you think it's what I gotta do, but you've got 20 seconds left. You still have plenty of time to get back on the point. And especially with Tiny now in a very, a composition that's not super favorable, it would have been a great time to push in with some good ults, but now you're kind of just lacking on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, Pulse Bomb in the back, not getting a kill there, but AMA is already down on that ball, and Zarya, it's not the best composition to be in, but Yeeters is back on the ball of his own, taking down Absolute Zero with the help of Misled Elf, getting that final blow, and the kills are coming through here. Ghouls just trying everything they can. Poison only halfway to that ult. Can he even touch here last second? No, he can't, but they do get almost 2 ticks there, 64.8%. So it's winnable.
It is winnable. It definitely is winnable, but the thing is, they didn't win a fight. They got 64.8%. Yes, that is true. But it wasn't from an actual fight that they won. It's just that, Tiny were happy to give them the point just to make sure they came back with full 6. And, Tokyo had the advantage of being able to push back on the point with their spawns coming in quicker. It wasn't from a fight win. I don't think this series so far they've actually won a fight yet, which can be, pretty troubling. But now they're on the defense. They finally get to actually defend for the first time in the series. And they're going to have it, come out pretty strong to be able to pull out this map too.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be an incredible defense here as they're going back towards that meta Absolute Zero on the Moira, not the Ana, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. So they're just sticking to what they know. But on that attacking side, Omega on the sim and on the Bastion, that could be pretty deadly.
I'm excited for it. I hope they run this. Most teams will typically run it down the left side and get set up on point, set up above point rather, which is pretty good, but it's sometimes easy to see. But I don't think anyone's scouting it, so I don't think anyone will see. They might actually be able to get away with it. Because typically you can also go through main and try and set up through other routes, but no, it's gone left and no one's gonna be able to tell at all.
Yeah, it's gonna be straight there to that high ground.
Yeah, they do know that it's coming though.
Yeah,
but there's not much you can do.
It's gonna come here on the Orisa actually, just for that extra tank. Missed that off right on that high ground, but they know exactly what to do. They hide out there, but that pull pretty good, not finding enough damage. However, Omega goes down there from that Moira orb. Unlucky that skill orb. Was kind of trying to get onto that high ground as they rotate across here, but they're down one. They're down there with Symmetra, as they're not going to be able to get those quick rotations with that teleporter. But Spearman takes down Buzz. That's already 1 kill over. That's already an advantage. In the backline, Ben Whistle slept up on the bridge. Can't really help anyone. Omega's back on the Tracer, actually, but he's also very, very low right now. As probably got a headshot there by Mercury Spike. Charge coming through from Poison Hawk right there to counter it. And because of that, he goes down. Poison taking down by Misled Elf. He finds 2 now on this Bastion. And they're just ticking up the percentage right now. More kills coming through. Shouldn't be a problem to finish off this map here for Tiny. Has to be absolutely incredible stuff coming through, but I don't even think that ball's going to get there. It's Tiny go up 2-0 right now as we go into the half. They win Volskaya convincingly yet again. Again, as you said before they attacked, I don't think they've lost a team fight.
Exactly. And while they had a perfect opportunity for that. And I think they could have played it a little bit better. Definitely. No reason to lose a Mega and no reason to keep the old teleporter up. You can use it to move around a fair bit. But other than that, the fact that they managed to just sustain there forever uncontested by Tokyo. Tokyo couldn't really do much, and at the very least had no clue what to do, even if there was an idea. And yeah, once you have a Bastion that's sitting there free the entire time, no matter how well you play it, you're eventually going to lose someone, and that's what happened. It kind of snowballs from there. I mean, that's 2 maps down for Tokyo. Tiny's up right now, looking in a pretty good position, just a 3-0 right now.
Yeah, they're in a very, very good position. Probably one of the fastest games of altitude we've ever seen. Completely one-sided for sure. Tiny in control. A lot of great plays coming out for sure.
Yeah, and one thing I actually am surprised about is I didn't know this, but absolute zero on the Ana. I could have sworn this man was a DPS player. But looks like they are actually going to put him on DPS. I think.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
They're going to switch it around a little bit. They're going to put AMA on the tank with Ben, and they're putting poison down to heals, so absolute zero can get into that DPS spot. And this isn't too crazy. We've seen poison be very effective on the Ana before, plenty of times, and AMA does play a bit of tank. So yeah, I was a little bit confused by their comp at first, but I think this might be their peak composition right now.
Yeah, and we'll definitely see if that can get going. But first, we do have a halftime with our analyst, Chlorine and Eat Your Liver. Go ahead and take it away. Go over what we first saw in those first two maps.
Absolutely.
All right, so yeah, those first two maps were certainly interesting. Dominated a lot by the Tiny here. Hawk and they were really popping off there. Tokyo just couldn't adjust. So for MVP, I'm thinking so far, I got to go with Hawk, to be honest. He's been really consistent so far, hitting big shatters, really being a good leader, I think, for his team.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel like Hawk or Misled, they're both doing really good right now. Hawk and Misled, they're being like very consistent with their picks. I feel like I'm leaning a bit more towards Misled Elf. They're having a lot of big plays, saving a lot of big points with the ults and plays they have with them. I feel like they're in a really good mindset right now. Both teams, or at least for Vancouver, they're really just dominating the maps that they're playing on, and Tokyo Ghouls just letting them play their own way. How do you feel about that one?
Well, the mindset here for Tiny is they're going to be really confident going into these last map or these last two maps. If they can bring one back. Tokyo, I think that they've got a lot of new people in. They subbed a lot of new people, so they've got a pretty fresh mindset going in. Actually, it's going to be tough for sure, but if they can bring it back, it'll be pretty crazy. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be interesting, seeing what these teams' mindsets are gonna fall into. And so, with that, I think that their comps have been different so far, but it's working out for Tiny, even though May's typically been the meta and Tokyo's running May. No, excuse me, I think Tokyo wasn't running May. I'm not sure, but basically Tokyo couldn't handle Tiny's May. Yeah, they just were totally walled off the entire time. They had no idea what to do.
That's true. Especially on Li Zhang when they on the Gardens. They were playing Brawl v Dive. That was very interesting to watch during that time.
Absolutely. So Kings Row is going to be the next map here. A lot of May played on that map. What are you expecting from Tokyo to adjust?
From Tokyo, I feel like they're going to be playing that Hanzo Kree again. They were playing that Hanzo Kree on Volskaya, banking on that Grav Dragon to win them the fight as their ult winner. But they weren't able to pull that one off there.
Yeah, they've had virtually no success with their ult management and really anything so far. They didn't win a single team fight on Volskaya, so I don't know. I think it might come down to their strategy changes and just what they're going to do with their comp. Something's got to change.
Yeah, definitely with the ults. They're just be fights, dude. They use like multiple ults that they wouldn't have to, or they were just like pouring all their ults into one fight. They were trying to win, but then Vancouver would be able to pull it back with theirs, or just pull it out with them, like with Tokyo or LA using their ults.
Yeah, so far Tiny's just looking way more around to that. I've heard about Tokyo, a lot of rumors, but I've heard that a lot of them have been moving off to Valorant. This isn't really the main game anymore. So.
Yeah.
But if they really do want to make a run in the playoffs, they've got to change something up. So Tiny's probably going to run that May again. Do you think Tokyo, with this new tank line in, do you think they'll adjust it all?
I feel like they might be able to adjust it all with their new tank line. They might be playing a bit more aggro, maybe, or a bit less scared and less fearful. Because they just put Ammon, right? Ammon for poison on tank. I feel like they're gonna be going for the gold.
Absolutely. Yeah, these tanks really have to clean up their act against Hawk and Omega, because so far it's been really sloppy and they've seemed really unsure of their plays so far.
Yeah. And especially with if Tokyo Ghoul keeps performing like this and Tiny does win the match. If you look at like comparing this and then comparing them to Pink Sox, which is going to be the next match in the losers bracket for either Tiny or Tokyo, whoever loses, who they're going to be playing. If Tokyo keeps up this performance, I feel like that's going to be like that's just going to be a breeze for Pink Sox. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't think that Tokyo's got anything working for them right now, and so something's really got to change. I think that Tiny, if they move on here, they're a force. They're certainly a force to watch out for in losers bracket.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, with Hawk and Omega and Misled Elf especially popping off. He was on Farah on Lijiang, and he was absolutely rolling there too.
Yeah, he really was.
A good DPS backing up a good tank line. That's just a recipe for dominance, and Tokyo has no answer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, who knows, dude? Maybe Ghouls will be able to pull out a reverse sweep, putting Tiny into the losers bracket to play Pink Sox.
Well,
and that could be an interesting losers bracket, you know?
Absolutely.
If Deviant beats Fried, Vancouver beats Pink Sox, and you have like Vancouver versus Deviant.
Yeah, so you have Kings Row up next. Do you expect any interesting rotations or any weird comps from either of these teams? I know Tiny doesn't. I know Tiny likes their dive. They might try something weird.
Pull out some Kings Row dive.
That'd be something.
Kings Row is known for brawl, but I've seen a lot of not a lot. I've seen some people be brave enough to pull out dive because honestly, I feel like if you know how to, you could manage playing dive, especially because on the first point, high ground rotation can really mess up the enemy team.
Yeah, a lot of comps have proven to work on Kings Row. For a while, it was double shield with the Orisa Sigma, and Ryan just couldn't force his way. Yeah, it'd be an interesting map. This is where Ghouls really have to take a stand and win a couple team fights.
Yeah. I feel like their comps are going to be similar on Kings Row that they just ran on Volskaya with Tiny, especially with their main McCree, and maybe even the bunker comp first point on the defense of Kings Row. They might pull that out again. That was very strong.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's about all we've got, so we can send it back to the casters. Cookie and Ryan, you can take it away.
Cheers for that, guys. Cheers for having a look and picking the brains of these teams and figuring out what's going on here and what's going to happen. I like the idea of the dive on Kings Row. Personally, not sure how effective that would be, but I like the idea of it. Any dive being played, any Winston Diva ball, any of that shenanigans.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. Even if it doesn't work, do it anyway. It's like
you got to change something up at this point. I mean, of course, they're doing huge roster changes right now, but I went back and looked at the VOD for right now, and there have been less than 13 minutes of game time actually being played. And for two maps, that's not too great.
No, this could be the fastest map series taken so far, especially to take it off of Excel, who had a very quick roll through. I can't remember what team, but they had a very quick series a while back. But maybe Tiny's looking to yoink that crown.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'd be pretty incredible. I take it they'll be on defense here for the first round. So that's obviously a very easy way to do it if you get the full hold and then cap right away. But we'll definitely see how this goes down as both teams are getting started to, being ready up here. Kings Row, definitely more of a brawly kind of point. We talked about that dive, but a lot of stuff can still come out here. Ghouls, of course, switching up their comp. So,
Absolutely.
Cookie, do you have an MVP right now, though?
Oh, that one's a rough one. You can't be asking me that. I want to give it to the entirety of Tiny right now. I didn't realize, but we actually got some changes on Tiny as well. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting this to be the same. But we got Omega on the tank and Mozzie on the DPS right now. Unless something got mixed up and they got tossed around. But this could change things up a little bit. Put Mozzie on. Maybe he's a bench kid. Who knows? But
yeah.
Honestly, I'm not sure what I expect from this, but I'm looking for a quick match nonetheless.
Well, Yitris just actually left the game, but I mean, no, he wasn't in the game, but maybe that's why they had to switch it up, because Yitris maybe had to go or something, but doesn't matter for the most part. Maybe also Omega. Maybe he played a little bit of Zarya and Goats, that kind of thing. And they want to play Zarya on Kings Row because it is Kings Row. So that could definitely be a reason. But actually, he is he's on the Sigma right now. So that's a little interesting.
Yeah,
I mean we've seen it work. But...
Yeah, we've definitely seen it work. And there's a lot of damage coming in from that. But it's just, I don't know, his speed is just not that great. Like, at least with Zarya, you can bubble someone that's not directly with you. But if you're looking to protect someone, you need to be on top of them. But I mean, it's still, even knowing that the damage he puts out is ridiculous, and his ultimate is very useful. And I think that's what they're kind of going for.
Yeah,
slightly gaining composition here.
Yeah, a little stronger on that Sigma than Yitris. Hawk takes down one in Buzz there already because of that Mei while Ben wasn't going down as well. Frozen up, so an early first fight won there for the side of Tiny as Retrospect trying to find some heads at least.
Absolutely. But yeah, we also got, like I said earlier, we've got Poison on the Ana now, who used to be, one of the best poisons in the league. One of the best Anas rather in the league. His antis are absolutely brutal, and that's what could be that's what could matter in these fights, especially with this Ryan v Ryan. And Hulk doesn't have a Zarya to cleanse him, but I mean, you can always just pen. Oh my god, I can't talk today. Pin Ben. Terrible.
Yeah,
but
more kills coming through there. Retrospect does find one in that fight, but it's the Cream Lord. He's the Lucio. He'll be back in no time. But again, just Tiny controlling right now. Those walls have been great. Ben was on top of the wall there for a second, but he fell forward for some reason instead of backwards. But nonetheless, it's a one fight there for Tiny. They're holding on yet again as Ghouls moving in here. Hawk just holding that shield, but another wall up. Ben not looking good. He's taken down yet again. Another man wall, another kill, and a shatter coming through just to win that fight.
Yeah, just, no, I don't think it's even to do with the fight. The fight was won. They were backing out. He just wants to, put in another clip for his highlight reel at this point. Hits that Q, walks forward, and it's all over. Hawk, they died so quickly, he didn't even manage to get out of any of them. But even so, there's plenty more ults coming up for the side of Tiny right now. They're sitting on pretty much 4 right now, and I think Tokyo don't have too much themselves.
Yeah. First, the Gravitic Flux comes through there. No beat drop for Buzz. He's 5% off, and that's gonna make Absolute Zero pay for his life. He switched over to the Hanzo there and was taken out quickly, but they're already through Hotel. Charge coming there from Hawk, but Nano on to Creamo are going to be found out there and killed. Coalescence has to come out here to keep everyone on the opposite side alive. Hawk goes down as well. This might be it. They might be able to push through here. Mislight Elf trying to get that Blizzard kill in. Buzz goes down, however, with that beat drop already used during that fight. But the kills are coming through here for the Ghouls, and it looks like finally they'll be winning a point as Omega goes down. Just the man point.
We finally made it, boys. Who would have thought? Sing Tokyo taking a fight from Tiny. But, pretty well done. I don't want to say it's entirely on them for the win. Like, don't get me wrong, they played very well with what they had. But Tiny spread out quite a lot there, and we're kind of all over the place. Maybe wrapped up in the thought that maybe they won the fight. They brought out the Graviton Flux. They took out the Hanzo. It was a 6v5. but you get caught out. You know, you get a bit too excited and a bit sloppy, and you know, Tokyo punish it pretty efficiently.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have this nice choke to go in now, and Ben, with that charge, trying to take Hawk out of the fight, but it's the opposite way. Graviton Surge there, missing a bit, kind of just tossed into the air there, and another shatter through here for Hawk as he cleans up the rest of that fight. And now it doesn't look like a good position for the Ghouls. They're stuck at this choke with basically no ultimates. They have that Blizzard close, but
yeah, a little bit rough. I mean, you have one of the best combos in the game, and they had nothing to counter it. And yeah, you just throw it out and put Grav on a wall, and Dragon's just out in the middle of nowhere. And I don't know. Do they know they have to shoot it at the team?
Well, Absolute Zero at least knows that he has to shoot the heads as the Cream Lord goes down there. But another pin from Hawk, taking out AMA there. But the shatter to return there. Ben finds 4 with that one. And Ghouls are walking forward with the cart. Just a few more staggers. Omega on the point there. AMA off to the side, trying to get anything he can. But a good fight won there, especially with that ult disadvantage.
Yeah,
He killed off the Cream Lord before that fight, so.
Yeah, you know, Absolute Zero got 2 picks while sitting up in that window. Very important. And then, you know, Ben Wizzle slamming down everyone else and finishing it all up. Pretty well done. But, you know, maybe Absolute Zero just has to hard carry here. He can hit some more headshots and just, you know, get his team flowing through the streets. Because, I mean, Tony's about to run out of here with quite a few ults.
Yeah, a lot of ults for each team here as the Coalescence starts up. Omega with the Graviton Surge in the back, but Dragon on the opposite side, takedown 2. Omega only finds 1 with his Graviton Surge, but the Blizzard was on the point by Misled Elf. But there's a wall up. No one could finish up with that one. Mozzie goes down as well. Spearman alone on the cart. And it's going to be the second cap here for the Ghouls, as it looks like they're at least putting it together a little bit.
Quite an ult dump there from both teams. I think about, I don't know, like 7 or 8 ults came flying out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there wasn't really much that was effective. Like not many people died directly from ults. It was just kind of a byproduct, which is kind of funny.
Omega finds one already. Buzz taken down, not because of the shatter, just because, no, Omega clicked him a little bit, but the shatter comes out. He knew that Hawk was on the cart, and he takes advantage of it. 3 down because of that one, and kills going over for the Ghouls. Even with that disadvantage, Ben knew exactly what he was doing. Misled Elf jumps off the edge there. 2 minutes remaining, and they're getting closer to that finish line.
And this is what they needed, I suppose. They needed to change up the comp. You know, Absolute Zero, like I said before, a really good DPS player, and Poison, a really good Ana player. Switching up to make those things matter more than the tanks, rather, is a pretty good play.
Yeah. Graviton Surge comes in here, but is there enough follow-up? There's an anti-nade, and that's huge. It takes down 2. Misled Elf and Hawk out of the fight. Misled Elf was close to that Blizzard, but Coalescence trying to keep up Omega on that Zarya, but it's not enough. High Noon off to the side here, but the Blizzard's on card, and Spearman is frozen up. And it looks like they're going to be capping here. Can anyone even touch? No. Hawk slept 125 on the clock. A great push there from the Ghouls, definitely turning it around after halftime.
Make it look like they actually know how to play Overwatch, and this isn't the first game they've played. They finally managed to come in here and kind of steamroll through King's Row. I don't want to be biased and say it's unexpected, but what we've seen, it was a little bit, but you know, I'm happily surprised. I'm glad they managed to push it through and try and make a game out of this. You know, reverse sweeps aren't the most impossible things in the world. We've seen it plenty of times in this league specifically. You just need to get the right people and the right heroes and kind of go from there. And it comes down, you know, it's fairly mirrored, but there's quite a few things that still matter. Like one team's running the Ana, Poison Ana, who, like I've said many times, is a really good Ana. And they're finding full value from that. They're getting a lot of nades, a few sleeps, and the nanos there are very important. And nanoed full charge Zarya is going to hurt the enemy full charge Zarya of Coalescence on them a lot more. Coalescence kind of doesn't do much when you're trying to shape up against a high charge Zarya. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. That Zarya turned out to be a great pick there at the end by AMA. We'll see if Desiree can keep doing work on the defense as well as they look to really change the pace here. Maybe get a full hold, bring the luck back into their side of the court. Mercury Spike on that May, who sad because we know he's a great hits game player, but
yeah, and Omega on the D.Va now, probably a bit more useful because I know we've talked about it before, you know, but Zarya is very good against D.Va, but this D.Va needs to eat these nades because they're like one of the biggest issues presented to them right now.
Yeah, but another big issue is losing your May player early in the fight. Miss Elf goes down there and gotta back off, but Hawks walled off there. But a huge anti-nade comes through. Is it gonna be enough? No, you don't have your main tank. You're gonna back out. Is that one? Nice try, Spearmint, but ooh, Omega also.
A little bit of a stagger there. Oh, can he get? There's no way this man gets out. Oh, he's going back towards this spawn.
Basically half an HP.
Jesus, that's insane.
Absolutely, just trying to track him down too. But
no business being allowed to do that. Yeah, both teams opting for the Hanzo as well now. Maybe a bit more comfortable, but no more McCree's right now.
Yeah, charges come through there, but that allows the anti-nade to get in as well because you had your D.Va in the backline and he couldn't eat it. So Hawk goes down because that one Mozzie not far to fall as well. Omega finally killed off there in the back. And another team fight won there for the Ghouls.
Honestly, if I was Tiny here, I'd probably switch off the Hanzo to something a bit more in your face, probably like a Doom or a Reaper, because there's Hanzo, there's nothing to really combo with here. You have no Zai, you have no grab, and he's just not finding the picks because he's pushing into these long lines of sight where he's already at a disadvantage.
Yep. But the Blizzard comes in early there. That's going to take Mercury Spike basically out of the fight because he's so just pulled apart from his team. But the Shatter by Ben trying to do everything he can, beat there to keep everyone up. But Hawk's antied up. He can't get any healing and he's taken down Absolute Zero with that shot as well. Ben slept up, but he's done all he needs to do as the Ghouls are pushing on to this point, not letting anything get through into their back line. And under 2 minutes now for the Tiny to try to attack here.
I'm starting to feel a little bit lied to here. Were Tokyo sharking this whole time? You know, they're all out here smurfing and dicking around because now they're looking. It's like a complete role reversal. Tokyo is very uncontested right now, which is quite the 180 from earlier. Like I would have accepted if it was close, but it wasn't, and now they're just kind of rolling them.
Yeah, more Maywalls out here, but counterpins as well. That's a big ante though. 3 players up. An anti there. No one can really try to contest here. But a dragon comes through into the back, taking out Misled Elf. Hawk finds one with his fire strike through that Earth Shatter as he just charges off into the enemy team. Poison, an easy pick there onto him. Couldn't really do anything because of that Blizzard, but you're down your main tank again. You don't really have the spacing. Omega gets demeched. Headshot as well by Mercury Spike. 60 seconds remaining. The Ghouls are in full control right now.
Like you said, 60 seconds left. And they've got one ult. They're going to be hard pressed to get anything else at this point. Maybe make some swaps that are a bit more useful. And this dragon's going to be big. You're going to use it to try and... I don't think you use it to try and kill anyone, but rather to separate the teams and then speed onto whoever's kind of separated. Like you've got that Lucia. You've got to make use of it. You can't just keep, you know, counterpinning this Reinhardt that's walled off over and over again just to get your entire team anted.
Dragon's in early there to really just section off the fight as Hawk goes for another charge and he's antied up again. He's done that so many times and maybe it's not the smartest idea. The Creamlord goes down as well. Not enough protection for him. 15 seconds remaining. AMA still picking off that backline. Mozzie goes down. It's all or nothing at this point here for Tiny. They want to take the 3-0, but another counter pin comes through and the anti. It's just like clockwork. Hawk's nanoed up, but he can't do anything because he doesn't have healing. They get the overtime tick going. Mercury Spike goes down in the backline. This is the opening that they need. Misled Elf has to do damage right now. He almost has that Blizzard online. We'll see if he can get anything done with it. And Ben goes down as well. It's going to be the beat also invested here just in case. And finally, in overtime, Tiny are going to be taking the point.
A little bit too close. A little bit more close than they probably would have liked to have done it, but they finally managed to cap it. They've got a couple of ults online here. Omega getting grabbed very quickly in that one fight. That's the power of a high charged Zarya. I mean, they're not at a complete disadvantage in. I thought they would have actually been a bit lower, but they've got grab dragons here basically. They no longer have Bork.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but they've got quite a lot to push in here. And there's still a bit of stuff on the defense though.
Yeah, it's a good ultimate bank. You didn't have to use that Blizzard during that fight, and you have that Grab Dragon as well. But with both teams basically having near the same amount of ults, should be interesting. But Hawk just slams one straight into the ice wall. Both Gravitons come out at the same time. Both Dragons at the same time. Who lives through this one? 2 kills on each side, but Hawk goes down. He's gonna be misled off using his Blizzard, and he's also nanoed up there. Ben, don't know if he's gonna be able to live through this one. He doesn't. A little extra ultimates coming through for the side of Tiny as they push through. Mozzie gets 2 headshots to finish off that.
I mean, I would never say that was like the most optimal thing to do, because you know you never want to be completely down on ults when the enemy does have ults. But that is one of the nastier chokes to push through on this map. A lot of teams just get completely full held there.
Yep.
So I won't say it's the world's end. They do have to stay on cart though to keep pushing it. They've only got a minute to push it to the end of here, so they don't really want to lose any more fights here, because they'll be at a big disadvantage if they do.
Yeah, but they're already at a big ultimate disadvantage as well. Hawk is walled off and taken down. And the ante was good too. But Mercury's picks down. They don't have to worry about that Blizzard right now, but they're still being pushed back because of that main tank difference. And again, it's just a complete role reversal of how this game has been going. Absolute Zero finds Omega. 40 seconds remaining, and Tiny just aren't in a good position to even take this next point.
Maybe you gotta switch it back out, get the Aegis back in, Omega back on the damage. That could be the issue. I mean, it's hard to tell when so much has changed. Maybe it's just because Tokyo has a super better composition now with their team, but maybe it was just that one switch with Omega.
It's gonna be the Blizzard in early here, taking down 2 is Mozzie actually with the Dragons in the back, but Absolute Zero has everyone else's number. Shatter comes through with a big ante, and Ben is not letting this map get away from them. Mozzie, the last one standing. Spearman sectioned off because of those Dragons. He can't even get to the cart, but they're doing it. They find more kills, but Spearman walks straight into the Fire Strike. Can Omega get there in time on the Wrecking Ball? He does. It's just a tank versus a tank, but the beat comes in to save Ben a little bit more. He's so low after this beat. But the May's there as well. Omega, it is not fun to play ball against a May. He's walled off and frozen up consistently. Ben nanoed up actually, the other ability there. But both teams coming back full force right now. A lot of switches for both teams. The Graviton Surge comes here from AMA, and swinging in is Ben Wizzle. And he gets the shatter too. He takes down 4 with that one. Hawk anted up, can't get healing. Everyone's off the card except Mozzie in the back on the Genji. That's not enough damage for the team. Another wall comes in. Are they doing enough damage? To Cream Lord goes down. Mozzie frozen up. He's basically the last one standing. Omega's just doing everything he can to stay alive. He slams in, but he's off the cart. And that's Tokyo taking King's Row.
That was an insane hold and push both teams so close. Ben Wuzzle just dangling by a hair, surviving at the end. That Anna almost getting to him with the Fire Strike, taking her out. Insanely close. I don't know. I think things might have been a little bit different if the composition changes were a little different. Maybe a Doom Fist instead of the Genji, because Genji a lot harder to frag against in those kind of situations, while a Doom just presses, just rolls his face on the keyboard and you get picks. But yeah, super close, but Tokyo pulling that one out there. Finally, they won a map. You got to be happy with that, especially after it's been so dominant from Tiny.
Yeah.
But we've got at least 2 more maps to go, possibly. So yeah, they're going to have to keep this momentum going, and Tiny's going to want to have to try and bring it back themselves to try and win this one out, because they only need 1 more map, but it's still a whole other map to take out.
And it is Tiny's actual map pick this time, so they kind of have an advantage here. Maybe play something they're more comfortable with. I mean, they just dominated the first 2 maps so handily. It's kind of crazy to see that Ghouls took that one so handily. Maybe someone in the halftime was just yelling at them or something. I wish I could tell you, but Ben doing a lot of work there, going over to the Reinhardt, getting good shatters, and those counter pins as well. Hawk trying to go for those pins to really open up the fights, but he's just being counter pinned and then anteed up. And when you don't have a Zarya, you can't cleanse that as easily. And Omega wasn't really there to eat the antis anyway. So, I mean, Hawk maybe has to play a little more passive so he doesn't get himself into that position. It seemed like a big hole in what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's not even like he has specific aggression, because you know you can be aggressive and safe, but he's just going for these counter pins all the time, or charging in rather and getting counter pinned and getting punished for every time. It's crazy that you don't kind of learn from that or do something about it, but it happens so consistently. And Poison's just there, you know, throwing out nades and sleeps every single time he does it, and they pretty much win off that over and over again. So hopefully map 4 they play it a little bit differently and make it a little bit more of a clash of titans rather than a couple kids at the playground slapping each other with noodles.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say that map was even close, but it really wasn't.
No.
It's so hard to really tell what happened there. Maybe, of course, that switch of the compositions could be what actually happened. Poison going over to the Ana. We know how good he is on that one. And maybe the composition swaps on Tiny as well. Yitris out, Omega in, Mazi in. So who really knows? But looking at the comp they're running now, Yitris is actually back in, Mazi's out, Omega back on the DPS. We saw them roll the first 2 maps with this comp coming out. Is it possible that, you know, that we just see another stomp here from Tiny?
It is very possible, because these things kind of, they really do matter. Even though you technically only change one player, but moving one player to another role as well is very different. Maybe the Yitris is a lot better at playing around Hawk and protecting him, and Omega's better at playing the aggression to help him out as well, or play off his aggression rather. And that all changes when you switch those roles and lose even just one player. That could literally just be all it is. But you know, they're going to jump onto a bit of Route 66, which we don't see too much, especially in altitude. No one likes Route 66. No one.
Yeah.
You know,
very, very foreign map here. Although it is, you know, from America, which I'm from. Not you, but I mean. But should be exciting to see what these teams roll out. Not really sure like what they should even run here. I mean, obviously both these teams rush competitions with that may have seemed to be what they default on for the most part, but again, who really knows? As we jump in here, Ghouls still in that red for you, and Tiny in that blue.
66.
Yeah. So you know, it'll be interesting to see what they run. Like you said, they're probably going to run the typical spam, but there's plenty of other comps that work very well on this map. And I feel like a lot of the time, like I said, both these teams are playing around the May. It seems to always be one team plays the May better than the other one. It's never like really like competing between it. It's either one May has all the good walls and the other one has nothing, or vice versa.
Yeah,
Ready for battle.
definitely. But I mean, looking at what they're pulling out right now, it's the Diva, the Rhine, the Maze. On the offensive side, we have Absolute Zero on the tour, but he's sitting in spawn. You can never really trust what they're doing right there. But again, there's a lot of high ground to control, so you want that Diva for sure, especially on defense, to not really allow that, you know, those Hanzos, those Widows to get in a good position. So you're going to want that Diva for sure, especially in Route 66. We'll see where they actually position the defense. They're just hiding straight in that train car.
You don't see that a lot, but it can be pretty effective. And it's good to kind of shut them down, especially with that Widow. Yeah, she can kind of hide in spawn if she's expecting it, but she's going to grapple up there pretty early, I think, and get caught out, I think. Yep, she's used grapple. She can't escape now. Oh,
yeah, they found her. Ricochet taken down there. The anti comes down onto Spearmint, but he just fades out of that one quickly, and more kills come through there for Hawk. And it's really important to really hold this close as well, because you get more than one fight there on this point. You know, even if you lose that point, you get a recontest back near the end of it. And if you play on big Earls, then maybe not the same. Maybe you just lose one fight and it's over.
Exactly. But you got to make sure you're finding value out of it. Man, someone's going to unbind this charge. I think it's the most pressed button on this man's keyboard. Absolute Zero getting the pick on Omega is pretty important here too. Any picks here are important, especially on such a slow little cowboy. He's going to bring his boots all the way back to the rest of the team, and they look like they're just going to back up. man, they looks like they're unsure. The comms aren't too clear right now, and this could be all Tokyo needs to push in here. They're really caught out right now.
Omega's not in this fight right now, but Mislight Elf certainly is as he's rocked up there. But Hawk finds Buzz off to the side. Ben taking out Mislight Elf there with a hammer swing. Beatrice in the back line going against those snipers as best as he can. Both charges come through there, both of them knocked down, but who's going lower? It's Hawk. He's almost dead right there, but Beatrice is in onto Poison, takes him down. Coalescence out as well, so enough damage and healing is probably coming through here. Buzz going lower and lower because of that, but he makes it out. But those dragons not finding much value. I mean, as I say that, Spearman just kind of walks into him, and now it's just the backup there for Tiny. They know they can't win this fight. They just want their Moira back in as quickly as possible.
Yeah, she should be able to rejoin pretty quickly before they engage again. And a pretty good spot for them right now. They've got that May. There's some good line of sights here to wall off, but they're going to be careful of this double sniper composition going against them. Any time where they keep their fragile little heads out can be easily punished.
Yeah, Shatter comes in there from Hawk, doesn't find anyone, and Mercury finds that shot there onto Spearman, who found one of his own there, but it's probably a more worthwhile trade to take out a healer than it is to take out a Hanzo. Beatrice up there battling, but he's DMAC. He uses that self-destruct as well in baby form, takes out Mercury Spike. The High Noon comes through as well from Omega in the back, taking down Buzz. Hawk is out of the fight because of that charge, and Omega goes down as well. Is it enough here for Tiny to actually win this fight? AMA gets one for himself, but it's another trade there. Ben gets another. That May is still alive from his slide off, but it's not enough to stop a Shatter. Beatrice gets pinned up and taken out of his mech there, and Miss Light Elf is down too. So more trades coming through here, but is there a recontest available here for Tiny? It's not looking too great.
It's like they're going to get back on.
At least a little bit here. Dragons come through here. Can Creamlord make it out? He does. Hawk just holding onto the card as long as he can. Omega back on that Tracer as well. Beat drop comes in here, but the ante is huge as well. So even with that beat drop, Hawk's gonna go down. Blizzard in from the back here from Miss Let Off. Buzz, a great bubble there on the side of AMA to get Buzz out of that Blizzard. Another Shatter has to come through. Ultimate's using on both sides here. Both teams think this is winnable right now. Each is trying to stay alive in this mech, but he's dwindling his health, and it's the Cream Mode in the back trying to take absolute zero down. It's a 1v1 there. He's just trying to stall the cart as much as he can, and Hawk and Spearman are back as well. So just more time off the clock right now. It just seems like that's what they're going for. Spearman keeping his main tank up as long as he can here. Omega's back on the Tracer too. Hawk is dead, and the point's going over to the Ghouls.
Kind of bizarre, honestly. I could ridicule people for using ults, but a lot of them have been built back up anyway. But I don't know, using ults on the side of the defense were a bit weird, because that was gonna, you're gonna lose that no matter what. There's no way they're gonna win that and bring it back unless they had a very clutch hero play. And you didn't really use any on the offensive either, because it was pretty much guaranteed win, and again, unless they came out with a hero play, which you can't really, bank on. But they managed to get it through with, like, what, 20 seconds left? Yeah. So they got 2 minutes to push it through these little streets here.
Yeah, the Dragon not in there, but Pulse Bomb instant back doesn't do any damage, no. But the Shatter does do damage. That's 4 members down. But the beat drop's just in time there, except for Absolute Zero. He's taken down for sure. Bomb there into the back, not finding anyone but Hawk with the charge straight in, takes down Mercury Spike. Don't really know how he got that one off, but it's gonna win him the fight. Amy onto the Roadhog too. Interesting pick for sure, but if he feels like that's right, then I guess, it's not my problem.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't go Roadhog here, because there's not too much to really do other than try and shoot shields and get rid of those shields quickly. But I don't think that's the main issue here. They should have already had the main shield break potential anyway. Or maybe just want to break it a little bit quicker. Maybe they just don't want to get bloated Zaya anymore.
Maybe. Hook missing there. Hawk sleeping. Kind of an easy target, but a hard angle for sure. As Hawk charges in yet again, he's antied up and taken down. I mean, just like clockwork, as I said, both Blizzards coming down here. Mercury Spike frozen up inside of his own. Hawk out of the fight, so not a lot of space being able to take with that main tank down, but the kills are still coming through. Beatrice finds AMA there onto the Roadhog. Only 3 members remaining here for the Ghouls, and it's not really in a good position to be in. Omega just harassing that backline right now. Poison not dead, but has his attention taken away, and finally they go down. Sam McCree backing up, and Tiny's holding on.
I mean, maybe this is the plan. Maybe this is the plan from Hawk. Just feed as much as you can. and confuse the enemy team. Get them feeling good. They go, oh, the Reinhardt's fed, and then they lose a bit of their brain capacity. And then the rest of the team just cleans up. I think that's what's happening here. Otherwise, I have no clue what the fuck's happening. Sorry for language.
Coalescence comes out there in the back there for Spearman. Just at the start of that fight to really halt progression, but that wall's up there. Hawk maybe looking for another trade here as the bomb goes out into the back, and he finds it. He finds the charge, and he finds Ben. Not enough reaction time there. Beats coming in from both teams as overtime is about to tick away here. That May on the card going low, but the Shatter's there. No main take, and Hawk has free range. The Blizzard is in as well, and that's everyone basically just falling here for the Ghouls. As it looks like Tiny are going to be taking this first round pretty well held.
Round 1 complete.
Pretty well held there. Could have held first point. They did have very good holds the entire time. And there's only a few moments where they really let it slip. But they still managed to hold it back. And you don't see the cart get held in that specific spot too often. It's usually a bit closer towards the door or just somewhere on the first point. Or, third point rather. But straight under that bridge is a pretty interesting spot to have it. I don't think that's, too much of a tall order to get.
Yeah, definitely. With how they've been playing, especially the first two maps, that's not difficult at all. They just kind of got to roll through here. Once they get that ultimate advantage as well, and I mean, if once Hawk gets a successful charge in, once he just takes one pick because of his just crazy charges, then they can kind of roll with it.
Absolutely. But hopefully, I mean, is this still map 1 and 2 Tiny? I think if it was, they would have been held at the doors, But, maybe they're trying to have some fun with it. They heard me talking about taking Excel's, speedy series take, and maybe they got paid to ruin it. Pay to drop a map. Putting a mega on, taking Yeetrus. Imagine taking Yeetrus out of everyone. Probably one of my biggest MVP candidates here is Yeetrus because they're just so consistently. They play so consistently well, just harassing backlines consistently, constantly. This is a pretty interesting setup because I don't know if they know, but they can just come over them and shoot them just like Omega is right now.
Yeah, absolute zero. Not really in the best position there. Misled Elf puts a wall in front of his face, and Hawk with the charge. Ben going lower and lower. Dead Lamp not in time, and it's not over the wall. So without that Reinhardt, you don't have a big shield in front of your Bastion. Can he even do enough damage? Especially Omega, as you said, on that Junkrat, just really just taking everyone out. And another charge there, Hawk absolutely destroying with those charges. He does get taken out, but the rest of the damage is done, and the cart's rolling. Except for a sneaky little Moira on it, but...
Yeah, like I said, it's a super weird place to set that up. I feel like it might be like one of those times where you kind of panic and just go, well, I've seen this work in comp before, and switch to it, because there's a lot of better positions to set up there, rather than just being out in the open. And even running a Sigma over the Rhine would have been a better pick. But that did not happen. And then they died.
Off of it. But again, wall up there from the main, Attire in the back, takes down Buzz, and takes that D-Mech as well. Ben, who charged in, gets booped and taken out. So another team fight won there for the Tiny as they're rolling into second point with a ton of time here. Look at just that pesky little Moira in the back, but no problem there. Taken out, and the checkpoint's reached.
Pretty well done. They got 5 minutes left to push it just a little bit further, pretty much to where they're already standing.
Oh, and they're just pushing up. They dropped the Shatter, but Hawk doesn't find anything but a shield with that one, but he finds another charge kill. Absolutely insane. Yeetrus takes down Absolute Zero as well. Is there even going to be a full fight here before that payload reaches its destination? More damage coming through. AMA's D-Mech taken out there by Takrimord. They just have to back off into spawn now, but look at that ultimate disadvantage. So many ultimates online here for the Tiny as they're pushing in just like 20 meters to go. Ricker Spike's there, ready to touch, but...
They didn't even notice that. Do they know that to be on car?
Does get that Blizzard off, but no one else is there. Spearman just fades out of it. That one's kind of wasted. And now Mercury Spike's in the Blizzard of Misled Elves, and he's taken down. Bomb into the backline as well. The charge comes through here, but not in time to take out that Ryan with his shield. It's a Sound Bearer in as well. Bomb on the cart there, just trying to contest it as long as he can. Just try to keep it a 6v6. More damage coming through though. AMA taking out another charge from Hawk. He takes down Buzz, and he's out of the fight. Buzz was close to that sound barrier too, so that's a huge one to lose. That Shatter only finding one, but the Tiger's in as well, taking down Ben. Hammer in the back, not doing much work. Hammer's just missing everywhere here for both the Reinhardts, but the kills are coming through here for Tiny. They're taking Route 66, and they're moving on in the Altitude Esports Mock Overwatch League playoffs.
Absolutely. They played that super well, especially on that second point. Pushing up, pushing them back so far, they don't really have a chance to set up in any favorable position. And it was a little bit of a stumble. It got a little bit sloppy there. But the minutes were getting out. That Junkrat getting the ult, taking out Ben on that Reinhardt was super important because he's kind of the carry here for the team. Between him and Poison, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not sleeping on any of the DPS or anyone else, but they're kind of the front line, the scary lads you want to be watching out for. But
absolutely,
some good Overwatch there, you know. A nice 3-1 for Tiny. You got to be happy with that. And they get to move on and play Paris, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They do get to play Paris sometime in the next game. Looking very strong there, as, you know, we saw that one map where Yitris was out, which kind of, you know...
I mean, like I said, Yitris my girl, man. That diva, she's pretty pog on it. And take that out, and like, what's Tiny got left, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going back in, and we get to pack up that map 4. But I believe we get to chuck it over to the analysts to clean up what happened here and kind of recap what we've seen today. So take it away, guys.
Yeah, dude, that was a hell of a series there. Dude, there was a lot of plays coming out from both teams. Ghouls started really, really rough, but then they really brought it back on King's Row. Tiny was absolutely rolling them on the first 2 maps. It really just wasn't enough for the Ghouls what they did on Kings. The the roster swaps really made a difference, putting Ben on main tank, Absolute on DPS, and Poison on the support. Hawk, like he really made a lot of charges on the he made a lot of charges on the King's Row, really slipping it up, getting a lot of antis for them, for the enemy team. Honestly, that just sways my opinion on who should be MVP. Misled had a lot of good plays, especially on the first 2 maps on Bash and Farah, and then just being really consistent with the May picks. Who do you think's going to be MVP here? I honestly think it's going to be Misled.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Misled too. He slowed down a little bit on the last 2 maps, but first 2 he was absolutely dominant with the May walls. To me, it's not even close. Hawk had some fat shatters, but he played really erratically most of the time, and it was pretty dangerous. So Misled Elf really had his back most of the time. I gotta give it to Misled.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, like what do you think Tokyo is going to be going into Paris with their next match?
Tokyo's out, aren't they? That was losers bracket. Tokyo's out. Tiny's
true.
going in Paris now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Tiny playing Paris. From what I've seen, Paris came into playoffs after getting out of play-ins pretty strong, but I think they've cooled down too much. I see Tiny taking that series 3-1, honestly. I think that it's going to be a great game, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I feel like Tiny's in a really good mood, really in a really good stage, really good mood right now. I was surprised that they didn't really pull out the dive on the attack, because I see a lot of people playing the dive on Kings, or not Kings, a lot of dive on Route 66, especially at the high grounds.
They have a good dive, but they just didn't end up utilizing it much there. I guess their brawl just worked out in the end. Ben Whistle for the Ghouls, he really came back with some huge shatters, and he was really carrying the Ghouls to that, but it just wasn't enough, I guess. Vancouver, move on. A big win for them. They should be really confident going into the rest of losers bracket.
Yeah, they really should be, especially with their next opponent coming up. There was a lot of big shatter plays big Ryan plays in that map, especially with Hawk and Ben Whistle going at each other. Like they were just going like neck and neck.
One of the untold heroes, more so, was he was playing really well, supporting his Ryan all the time. Led Hawk's charges, which were that was something else.
They were pretty questionable.
Yeah, some of them questionable, some of them were huge, but Etris was really there in the end, along with Misled, to take care of him and have his back. And it really shows that this team, they're confident in each other, and they're gonna be confident going into the next map. And I definitely expect them to be talking it up with Paris a little bit. It's going to be a good series to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good match to watch with Tiny and Paris, especially. They've got a lot of good synergy. Like they really have a lot of trust in each other, being able to play off of each other and follow up on each other's plays.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's about all I've got to say. Do you have anything left?
Yeah, we can talk about, there was the map that they took out Omega. They put in Mosley. That was the map that they lost. What do you think was up with that one?
I think it's probably just a synergy issue, to be honest. Some players fit better characters with other players better. It's like every Ryan has his Zarya, and no other player can be that Zarya. It's only that guy.
That's true. That's true.
But yes. For me, that about wraps it up. I think we send it back to Cookie and Ren.
I've said all I've had to say.
Yeah. So you guys can take it away.
All right. Thank you very much, lads. Again, they were Eat Your Liver and Chlorine on the analyst desk, giving us a deep dive into what happened throughout this series, this nice sneaky little 3-1 for the Vancouver Tiny over Tokyo Ghouls. But yeah, so now we get to announce our MVP before we wrap up here. And we had our picks from the analysts there. We also had our own picks. I won't spoil it yet. Who do you think was the best one here? Yourself, Ryan?
Well, there was a lot of great players on both teams. Misled Elf for sure on that May, and all the characters he played as well. Just doing a lot of work there, especially on map 1. He played that Pharah, which was great stuff there. And Spearman on that support, always helping out his Ryan. Those are two great players that, of course, I'd like to shout out, that really carried their weight. Maybe didn't really show up in the kill feed all the time, especially not Spearman on the Anna Moira kind of role, but definitely some great plays from them. What about you, Cookie?
I mean, as always, I love everyone on the rosters. And there's a lot of shout outs from Tokyo as well, especially between Ben and Poison doing a lot of work on this Anna run, like I mentioned before, and the DPS, everyone doing their own thing. But of course, Vancouver, the ones that won today, and their supports did super well, beyond it, trying their best to keep up Hawk when he's in deep as hell, and doing all they can to keep everyone alive. The DPS both doing a lot of work, both Misled and Omega. Mozzie came out, but maybe it was just a rough map for him. Maybe it wasn't too warm. A little bit unfortunate, but Omega and Misled being the big boy carries that the team needed. Hawk doing very well a lot of the time on this Reinhardt, with definitely some questionable shadows. But I think my MVP, and I think our MVP for this, is definitely going to have to be Etris with the Steva. Absolutely nutty throughout the entire thing.
Yeah. I mean, Etris was in, they won. Etris was out, they lost. It seems like some pretty simple math to me. Etris or MVP. We'll get them in here in just a second to interview, to, see how the entire team is feeling. But in the meantime, make sure you follow and stick around just to, we have more games coming up. It's the playoffs. This was just the first round of the losers bracket, and it's getting good. So make sure you follow the stream. So
Actually, I think it was the first round that was streamed. We also had Fried and Shook. That was the first round.
That's true.
Second round. But that's the entirety of the first brackets done and wrapped up. So we've got two teams that have gone home now, unfortunately for Shook and Tokyo. They had a pretty good season, but get shut out by a few other teams. Next game's, of course, going to be the Excel and Fission. Then, of course, Toronto, Deviant, and Dallas Fried again. That little rivalry going on there. Then, of course, today's winner Tiny versus the Paris Pink Sox. So we've got some pretty good games coming up, but hopefully we'll be able to get Yitris in here soon. Yeah, we're ready.
Oh no.
Oh no. Hello, Yitris, our MVP
right.
for the day.
Why are you guys bullying me, bro?
Holy
Every
yeah.
time. I don't like this. Give it to somebody else.
Just bully someone. Just stop bullying the enemy team, and we'll stop giving it to you.
Dude, I don't do anything. I just sit there with my DM.
I mean, that's it. That's how you play Diva these days. You hit the boosters, you hit E, and you hold the the DM machine.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
I did honestly. This match, I don't think I showed up as much as other matches. Like honestly, give it to Motzi, because like you guys don't know what happened, but something happened where I had to go for the Philly match, and Motzi really did show up there.
So that's what happened there. We were wondering why you got taken out for King's Row there. It was we really had no clue what was going on. You know, taking out Yitris on this off tank. What could possibly be happening? What could possibly be the reasoning? Maybe get some bench players.
No. We wouldn't. Motzi's strong in our back, strong bench player. Like when they show up, they show up. Today, I'm not sure what happened, but like
I think that's just King's Row, which is a little bit unfortunate for you guys. Take coming out a bit stronger, surprising you guys. Like I said it earlier. It would have been nice to see a bit more from Muzzy, but unfortunately, it's just not how the map went. But regardless of all that, how are you feeling after this match? Were you excited to go into, like, how were you feeling before the match? Were you thinking it was going to be an easy steamroll? Were you worried about it? And what about as the series progressed? Were you feeling pretty confident?
Honestly, I was a little bit worried. I don't know about the rest of my team, but I took a lot of time off of Overwatch, and like I think I played maybe yesterday and today. And like I wasn't sure how I was going to perform. I felt like I vastly underperformed, but I'm sitting here. I think you guys are wrong, as always. It's rarely ever me.
It'd be that way, man. But I mean, at least, I mean, maybe you did nothing. Maybe you did literally nothing, and it's just the caster's point of view where you seem to do quite a lot. Unfortunate.
I also play a lot of Diva, so maybe I'm a little biased, but you know.
It can be that way. But just a last question from me is anyone, you already called out Mozzie for being your own personal superhero and MVP, helping you guys out, but is there anyone else on your team that you want to shout out for specifically carrying and helping you guys seal that win?
Literally everybody. Like Ben, his ult tracking is like really fucking good. Like really fucking good. Like he'll call something and he'll call something, and that's the reason I'm able to get like those eats, because I know that ult is on the field. Like, and I don't think I got any eats this time around, but like in the past, when he ult tracks, I know what to expect. And what else we got? We got Whale, my homie, or Spearmint in game.
Okay, I'm thinking I don't know
Whale. Yeah. Spearmint in game, they pump out the healing. They play really well with the team. They just like it's like they those two players are really the X factor of this team. And we have Hawk. Like Hawk shows up, he hits shatters, he misses shatters. Like,
and from my point of view, he charges a bit.
He charges a bit, yeah. But like, he gets what he needs to get done. We have Misled and Omega. Like, if you missed it on Li Zhang, Misled popped off. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like,
he kind of like carried that first now, honestly.
He should have he does so fucking much for the team. With his walls, he peel walls really well. He hits those walls really well. He does what he needs to do, and he does it really fucking well. And like Omega, like he's like he talks like when we put a Mega to flex tank, he says like, oh, I play really badly, but like he plays a decent flex tank. If I remember correctly, he scrimmed 4.4 on flex tank at one point. So
well, I mean, even when he was on off tank and you guys were struggling a little bit on King's Row, it didn't seem like anyone was struggling for the most part. It just seems like that one map came out to be, Tokyo really coming together. Omega, these off roles still did pretty well. As a whole, Tiny did very well this entire series.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's really my team. It's rarely ever me. I don't know why you guys keep dragging me up. It's not me.
All right. You got any last questions, Ryan?
No, just good luck in the rest of the tournament for sure. Hoping to see you further on in the loser bracket. Good luck against Paris for sure. This should be a good one to watch out. So again, congratulations and good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll see you in here again.
Oh, no, you won't.
You're just about to throw. Alrighty, I think that about wraps it up for us today. Pretty good match between Tiny and Tokyo, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was a pretty good one for sure. King's Row, a really weird one, as the rest of the maps kind of seemed one-sided towards the side of Tiny, but either way, we did see that 3-1 come through. Ghouls sadly drop out of the playoffs for this season, at least. We'll hope to see them back next season, and make sure that you follow, because we'd like to see you back as well in the next cast, in the next game. So make sure you drop a follow, make sure you stick around, get notified on Discord, Explanation Discord. That might be a command, that might not be. I'm not really sure, but you could try it, see if it works. But either way, thank you for joining us for sure. It was a good map. We'll see you whenever the next map or match is getting streamed. So Cookie, got anything else to add?
That's about it. Excited for the rest of the tournament. Rest of the playoffs, rather. Should be good.
6 teams remain, but that does it here for these 2 teams. I was Ryan, joined alongside by Cookie, and thank you for joining us.
Cheers.